Hello and welcome once again to my channel. My name is Yetunde. I run an online fashion school ready to wear brand and we need to measure brand. So today some people will call it a waist overlap dress. You can call it an overlap dress, you can call it a wrap top or dress, but the normal name is SURPLIS. SURPLIS is SURPLIS. Now surplus means just surplus, is the English of surplus. So what do you need? I'm going to need my papers, or you can do it straight on your fabric. I'm going to need tape measurements. I'm going to need scissors, ruler, and just the pattern equipment. Now I have a full body block, but what I'm doing today is just to the waist. So that's when you have an overlap dress that's just stopping at the waist. Whatever you decide to do down, I don't know, so you're going to have a cut at the waist. So let's say you have a full body. The first thing you need to do is whatever we're doing is stopping at the waist. So this down part, you have to cut it differently. If it's going to be a blouse, this one you have to cut it differently because the upper part will be in a surplus top, while the down part doesn't have to be in a surplus. It can be gathers, it can be flare, it can be an overlap flare, fuller flare than this what we're doing. So let's just get to the basic thing. So I'm going to use it. I already have a body form that is just stopping at the waistline. So once you have that, the next thing you need to do is that you need to, just like I did, put another paper from the center front. You really don't need to cut a full body form. I can also advise that if you want, you can draft your bodies in the full form. So instead of having an half bodies, you have like a complete form. This is a shirt pattern, but that's no problem. You have a full form where you open it out and then you work from the center. So but this one, if you don't want to do the full body form, you can just take your half body form and paste like on any paper, any leftover paper on it, because I'm not going to be working with the whole form of the full bodies. Yeah, so just take an extra paper on it from here to half form. So what do you need to do when you're making a surplus dress? The first thing you need to do is have your bodice form, draft your bodice form. You really don't need a neckline, and when you're increasing the neckline for your surplus dress, don't increase it so much. You can just do from your regular neckline, your basic neckline. You can do maybe 1 inch away from it, not too wide, because once it gets too wide and then you have your wrap dress, it might start to fall off of the shoulder, because the wrap dress itself tends to come down more than, it's going to look like a v-neck, which you come low. So my body's form, if you draft your bodies with the shoulder that already close the shoulder, that have your waistline, obviously I have my dart on it. We're also going to be doing what I call elimination. So that, paste another paper. That's the first thing. The next thing you need to do is how fuller you want your surplus to be. The rule you need to know is that your surplus form is minimum of your dart line. So what is this person's dart? From the center of the body to the dart, the middle of the dart, yeah, which is, these are the dart legs, but the middle of the dart, let's just use that. So this person is a 3.5. So that 3.5 is what you interpret at this other side. What that means is that your surplus, which is coming from here straight like this, should be minimum of your dart space. How do you do your dart? Is it like you do waist suppression? I can't go into that. Our online students will understand that. Or you do your regular dart, whatever you use to get your dart, from the center front to the side. Center front, side front. So I'm working on the center front. Don't forget, center front is always on fold. But so this is the neckline. So that you understand, this is the armhole. Yeah. So this is the center front. This is the side front. This is the waist line, this is the dart leg, and this is the center of the dart. So 3.5, you mark that. Your dart can be just on that 3.5. So that means you can rule your dart just from that point, or you can increase it. but your surplice dress has to be minimum of that line. Now what are the things you consider when you want to do this? Now like I said, it can be more than this. Let's determine what's the fullness of our bodies. The fullness of our bodies is 8. Yeah, so that means okay, let's do it without the dots. 6.75. Yeah, so that means the person's body is a 6.75. So let's just say 7. So that means you can have your dart anywhere from here to almost, some people even get it to the end of the dress. So that means your surplice will be coming from here to here, right? Or from here to here. Now another thing you need to determine where it's going to be. So that's minimum of your dart leg or of your dart line. That's the middle of your waist. You can just do waist into it to get the middle of the body, or your bust point. Your bust point is also the middle of your body. It's that line, either that or this one. So now what do you take? This is minimum of where the surplice can start from, and this is the maximum. Now how do you know particularly where you're going to? By the time you overlap it here, you will see the neck depth. Now if I overlap it, let's say I'm going to increase the neckline by just the 1 inch here. So I'm increasing my neckline by just one, nothing more than 1 inch. If it's too low, well, I've seen people that do it too low, it ends up turning to an off shoulder kind of, you can push it down, that's fine, but I don't like it to be too low. So let's say if I take it from my 1 inch down here. Now you also need to pay attention to where it is ending on the center of the body, because that's how low the depth will be in the center. So this is like 8, which is fine for me. I can have a neck depth of 8 from my middle bodies. 8 is fine. 8 will not show anything. That's why we say minimum of that line. By the time it goes in more, it will tend to come down more. So you can now decide to go a little bit in. So I'm just going to stay safe and just go a little bit in. Mark your dart leg. If you mark this place, measure from here to here, whatever you have. If you think it is too low for you, then you can increase it. So let me increase this by 1 inch, and let's see what we have. So from your neck width to your new surplice, from here to here, I'm going to mark where it gets to. In the middle, this is the middle point. Middle point means where the surplice will meet. That means when one is coming this way, the other surplice will come this way. So this is where they meet. Now once again, we measure this from the center neck. This is the center neck. Come around here. Center of the neck is from here, the highest point of the neck. That's from the center bodies. I mark it again. So this is 6.5. So I can decide to come in the middle. So the wider you go on the dart line, the higher the neckline goes. So if I take this, my neck depth is going to be an 8. If I move in by 1 inch, my neck depth moved up to 6.5. So whatever you do before you decide your line, just make sure your neck depth is something you're comfortable with. If it's an elderly person that doesn't like to show too much skin, you can just you can still increase it more to get higher. But for a wrap dress, it's better at least it gets to like maybe 6 inches for the build to show. So I'm just going to go on and decide to take it from the middle of the 2 lines I've drawn. Yeah, and I draw my line. It's just a straight V all the way down. So this is my surplice line. Yeah, so this is what I will be cutting. Then the next thing we need to do is what we call dart elimination, because the surplice should not have darts, but some people will put that, but it makes it bulky. Or what you can do is put that on one side. That's the side, one side that will be on top, then the side that will be inside. Let's say this is overlapping. By the time it covers, it's going to cover the inside one. So you will not put that inside, you will put that on the outside. So if you want to put that on this one, letting it be the outside, you leave it be like this. But let's also show you if you want to do if you want to remove your dart. So all you need to do is 1.5. I take 1.5 from the end and I mark it. Now please pay attention that this is a basic bodice pattern drafting. There is no allowance. This is just a basic neckline to the shoulder line, to the armhole, to the bust. There's the bust line, this is the bust point, this is the waistline. No allowances, there's no seam allowances, just the basic bodice. This is when we are placing on the fabric that will put the allowances. And maybe that's why it's looking small. So I take the 1.5 and when you do that, we will reshape the body. So this is if you don't want so I'm just using an hip curve to do the shaping. So that's me eliminating the dots. Yeah, so it's not compulsory. You can eliminate it on one and not eliminate it on the other one, or you can eliminate it like totally, or you can leave it anything you want. So now this one, that means there is no dot here. We have moved the dot to the side, that has been eliminated. So that's that. The next thing I will do is to cut my surplus dress. Yeah, you really don't need any neckline, so you can have your full bodies without the neckline because we are deciding our own neckline by ourselves. Okay, so I do my cutting. Okay, so that's that. So after this now, I'm going to overlap it to give us two of it. Please note that when you are doing this on the fabric, you don't need to cut two. You're just going to cut one of the things. Make sure your fabric is on fold. Now your fabric should be on fold like let's say this is the maybe you should fold your fabric like this and just cut, don't cut them differently. So once you fold your fabric into two like that, you place your bodies on it and you cut your surplus top. So I'm just going to use this paper to cut two of it. So I'm going to assume this is the front of the fabric and this is the front of the fabric. So they have to face each other to get two sides. Yeah. So realize that our own has a shoulder line that we have cut. Let me see if you can do it this way. Okay. So just like that, and then I'm going to just cut out. So I'm going to assume this is fabric from fabric. But what you're doing is you're placing your pattern on the fabric fold to get your two sides. So let's say this is fabric on fold in two places, whatever fabric you want to do. You can also do something where you have maybe two types of different fabric. That is, maybe one side will be another color, another side will be another color. Anyhow you want. So if you want to do that, you're going to be cutting this surface on the two fabrics differently. But if you want the same fabric, just place this on it like an overlap and then do your cutting. So I'm just assuming that this is you putting the pattern on two fabrics. So please, also very important, very important, when you're cutting your pattern on the fabric, yeah, please indicate the center front, because your centers must not miss each other. Indicate the center of the bodies. Okay, so that's that. So this is the end result that we have. Center of the bodies to the center of the bodies. They must not miss each other, and then you have your surplus dress. See the neckline, this is deep because that's what I want it. Like I told you, if you want it to be higher than this, you go in. So what I'm going to do is this one, I'm going to leave the dart. So I'm going to take a dart. For this other side, you can remove the dart. So on the dress and you've cut it with the dart, you can leave that on this one, or you can erase it on both. So you turn the dart into like a sewing allowance. So if I want to remove that on this one, my dart legs turn out to be 1.5. I take out my 1.5 from here, yeah, and I withdraw. So that means if I'm sewing, I can sew one to have that, and I can sew the other one to have that. Don't forget, because this one is a pattern drafting without allowance. Definitely when you're cutting on the fabric, you put your allowances at the side. You can put 2 inches, this one 0.5, this place 0.5, this place 0.5. This down part, because you sew it with whatever you decided to join down. So once you have it this way, then the down part of your dress is now going to join it. So let's assume that, you know, the down part, this is a full body form, this is the outline I did your surplus, and then this down part, let me just fold it back. So you see, this end part by the time is in two forms, it just comes on. So this will be like in full form. It can be a straight top, it can be a gown, you can do a gather gown, you can do a flare, it can be a top, anything you want to do to the down part, is just whatever. So the down parts and like that. So this one you can leave it, I don't know, depends. If you do like a flare now that is going to overlap, let's say from here to here, you can leave it opened where you can use maybe a rope to tie it. If you're going to open your surplice completely, that means you're not going to tape it down, then the back bodies does not need a zipper line. That means you're going to cut the back without the zip allowance in the middle. But if you are going to close this, that means take this down. By the time you do your facing, cut your lining to the front, face it here, turn it, face it here, turn it, use the shoulder for the front and the back, the normal way you used to sew. So if you're going to tape it down like this, and some people will tape it down like this, some people will leave it, you can wear a tube inside, that's fine. If you are doing the taping, then the back has to have a zipper to open to wear it. But if the front is going to be opened, let's say you make it a dress, you can make it a full overlap dress, like the way you came down like this and just go down to the end. So it's going to be an overlap dress. These are things we take on the online class. There are a lot of things that happen in a surplice dress that I cannot explain here. If you need more info, you can join the online class. So just at least you should be able to pull up a simple surplice dress and then maybe a flare down, or a normal simple straight part down, or a gathers gown, or it can be a top, it can be a dress. All I'm concerned about is upper part. So I think this solves it. Always notch this mid. Once you are sewing, this must come back, because if you don't notch it, you might end up sewing like this, and this will be bigger than your body's form. So that you know the center of the body, know where you're going to overlap. You know, this one you can take your dart, this one you don't take your dart, to turn it into seam allowance. That means we are going to cut this out. So you are cutting this out now, okay? So this dart I've eliminated it. You can see it's the same side and this part. So this one, by the time you also take this dart inside here, by the time I take this dart, yeah, by the time I sew it, I'll see that it will come back to be the same thing. But this one I'm not going to sew any dart, I've eliminated that. So if you have any questions, please drop it in the comment section and I'll try to answer it. That's just basically how to make a waistline surplice dress. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe to our channel. We'll be bringing more videos on cutting and different types of sewing, and I'll see you some other time. You can also join our online classes. You can use the social media website on your screen to talk to